Hi all, this is BRR. Welcome back to BRR Knowledge Hub. In this today's session, we'll talk about Docker. What is a Docker and how we are going to install Docker on Windows. Okay, basically why it is so damn popular word in nowadays. Okay, so Docker is a hotter than hot because it makes it possible to get far more apps running on the same old servers. And it also makes it very easy, right? Suppose if you want to install a similar kind of deployment or similar kind of application configuration in some other server, let us say like today I was in testing or production, testing or QA environment, and my same application I want to deploy in production server. So there are a lot of things we are getting problematic when we deploy similar kind of configuration in production or live servers due to manual processor, due to a huge number of guidelines and configurations we have. Similar kind of replica we are not able to configure at production server. Where this comes a problem and Docker comes into the picture. So if you have create a Docker image for the QA or testing environment setup, same thing can be pushed into Docker Hub and can be pulled from the Docker Hub and install it in production server without different kind of configurations. That is what the main benefit of using this Docker. So generally this Docker used for deployment stage for containerization of an application so that application can work efficiently in different environments. Okay, so as I told you, it has two terminology like Docker image and Docker container. Docker image and an image, or it's immutable, or it's a file that's essential snapshot of a container. Okay, so images are created with the build command, and they will produce a container when start. And images are stored in a Docker registry such as registry.hub.docker.com. Okay, so this is main purpose of the using this Docker object to create, deploy, and configure the application on different servers, different environments. And main benefits of using this particular Docker is continuous deployment and testing. So if you deploy something and if you test something or if you develop something, immediately it will push it to docker.image, that means docker.hub, and that same thing can be pulled out in production server and can be deployed automatically. This is what the continuous deployment and testing effort. And second thing is multi-cloud platforms. That means you can deploy on multiple platforms. And third thing is environment standardization and version control. That means you will get similar kind of normalized output if you look at all the different platforms because of the standardization and version control system. It is embedded in the Docker. And the fourth one is isolation, and last one is security. So these are all the main key benefits if you go for using a Docker when you deploy our application on different environments with easier steps using a Docker image and Docker container. So generally, this Docker will work on Unix platforms because almost all the softwares are on Unix or open software systems. But still, if you want to install it on Windows, then we should require virtual machine configuration on top of this Docker installation. Okay, so why virtualization is required means an application works in developer machine or UAT, as I told you, and similar application is not working on production environment due to several reasons. So this is what the main problem we are seeing it now. So even in Windows also we have similar kind of problems where in other applications, ASP.NET or .NET or PHP or other softwares. So we can deploy this thing using a Docker object. So Docker object prerequisite or a virtual machine virtualization should be enabled. Then only it will run. Okay. Now this is what the architecture of this Docker. This is what the container of your image, and the second one is another container for the same image. So I told you one thing regarding this image and container. So what was the relation between these two? So as I told you in the object oriented, this image is a class. Okay. If you want to access the Docker file image, and container is must, that is an object for your image. You can run that image to create as many Docker containers as you want. Then the image can be uploaded in Docker Hub. From Docker Hub, anyone can pull the image and build a container. So my object is an image and my instance is an container. So image always a class. So if you want to access a class, you have to create a object that is what is container. So my image is there somewhere in docker.hub in the cloud, and I'm accessing using container one. This particular container or image basically have an application and bins libraries. So this is what engine, Docker engine on top of your OS. So when you host this particular application on your cloud, so on hosting OS, we have a Docker engine. That means I told you Docker should be installed. On the Docker engine, you have containers. Each container have applications and their libraries and bin folders. Okay. So this is what the Docker architecture, like this is what the Docker file I'm having here in Docker dot hub. So somewhere in the cloud, and a similar file I'm going to access using this particular Docker container, and this Docker image has been pulled into Docker container. This is what the virtual machine we have. This has been in a Docker hub. This is where public repository we have all kind of Docker images, and you can pull it into your local machines, host machines, and you can create and containers and use it. So this Docker hub have all images, and in the staging server or production server or live server or Unity server, you just pull the image, just create the containers and use it. So this is how we are going to use a Docker image from the Docker hub instead of manual steps and manual guidelines. We are going to use it. Basically, this is used in DevOps concept, automation, continuation, and continuous development aspect, because no manual immutable things here. Everything has been in the snapshot of container, and everything can be pulled and pushed from the Docker hub. So this is how the Docker is going to work in different stages. So basically, when you want replicating an environment on your server while running your code locally on your laptop, and you definitely create an image and push it to Docker, and that is going to be stored in public repository, and your hosting server, you pull that image and you just configure and just run it, just docker.run, it automatically runs it. Okay, now we will see how we are going to set up this Docker. Okay, so there are a lot of things we used to do. Simply go to the this Google and search for installing Docker image on Windows. As I told you, by default it works on Unix. If you want to run that particular Docker image, so you use to enable virtualization on your computer. That means virtualization should be enabled on top of your Docker engine. Then only it starts working on it. So I was enabled by default this virtualization. So hence there is no need of having a problem, because the virtualization has been enabled already. Okay, so how to download this particular Docker? So just open this docker.com products, and we have download for Macintosh and download for Windows. And just click for download for Windows. It starts downloading this Docker image for your Windows operating system. Once you download this Docker object, Docker software into your local machine, just start running that particular Docker build file. It will start installing into your local machine. But one more thing you have to remember, that the operating system of the Windows should be more than 15. That means the version should be more than 1500. Then only it used to work without interrupted problems. So it should be ensure that the OS version should be more than 15 version. Then only it works fine. Okay. So once you download and install it, you'll get shortcut here for Docker for Windows, and just open it and run as administrator and just run it. It will start running your Docker object here, and you will see a same image in task manager. So now my Docker is starting. So this should be in Docker running state, then only you are able to access Docker commands. Okay, you just go to this thing and open terminal. Okay. So if you type Docker, you will have list of commands if it would be in running status. It will take a couple of minutes to start this Docker actual Docker engine. So once it gets turned into in running status, then you'll start using of this Docker object. So this Docker has these many commands. Not only here, you go to command prompt and use it. Uh, Docker. So when you type this, you will see all the commands of your Docker object. So these are the commands. So use it to pull and push and run and start your Docker image. So if you want to look at all the Docker images, it should be in running status. Now my Docker still it is starting stage. Once it is turned into running state, I can able to look at what are all the images available here. We want to see what are all the available images. Just check Docker images, and it will give you the available images in the Docker container in the Docker Hub registry. And based on that, you just pull that image and you just create the Docker instance. Still, it is running state. It may take another couple of minutes to turn into running state. If once it is turned into running state, then we are able to access the Docker. As you remember that this is a daemon service, that means it's just running in the behind of a server kind of Windows service. If it is in the starting state, running state, then only you are able to access things. Okay, so the biggest advantage of virtual machines is that they create snapshots which can be revised, now revisited instantly later. But Docker containers further enhance the lightweight process virtualization to create a Docker container, and that is what the main advantage. So uh, still it is running state. Okay. Um, okay. So how we are going to set up virtualization for Windows? That you have to do it on your machine using BIOS settings. Make sure going to your BIOS and enable this virtualization like AMDV or kernel virtual machine enabled. Then it will get enabled the virtualization process on top of your Docker engine. Then it's indicating you that it is ready to start working with this Docker engine. So once the setup is configured and installed, you have all Docker commands. Okay. So there are a lot of commands as I told you. This is for running of your Docker command, and we have a start to start the Docker containers, and we have stop, build, pull, push. So ps list containers. So a lot of commands we have, and if you want, you can. Work out all these commands. Not only this, just go to this internet and use get all the commands in docs dot docker.com engine and log references. So where it has all commands for your Docker. And this we have command line. So references, and if you look at command line, where is that? I just type it here. See line, and you have all the commands. So which are having by default this Docker. Just click on this Docker. You'll have list of commands. These are the commands, and just go through all these commands and utilize whatever you require. Okay. So that way you can use Docker for easy shippable, easy deployment steps in application process aspects. So now if you look at our Docker, it's still running, not in starting mode. So what shall we do? Docker This is something, contain shows you the list of containers. So still it is not in running mode. I should wait for something. It's still running. So I have to wait for some more time. It all depends on your system and network bandwidth, and it should turn into a running mode by this time, but it takes time. So not sure of the reason. So this is a Docker image, and we should get things very faster, but not sure this case. So, and yeah, my command also not working, it seems. Okay. Let us look at the just recorder. And, and if you can yes. Okay, nothing in it. I don't need. No, oops. Okay, let me conclude this. So this is how I'm going to do is. So as I told you, I wasn't here because the hosting servers. I just installed my Docker. Now I'm going to look at this Docker hub and I will get the Docker image into these machines and I'll start creating container. Once you say like Docker start and image, it will create a container. That means object for your image, and then it will start compiling. I mean configuring the application on the server. This is how the Docker gives help for the applications and different environments. So I think still it is not running. So, however, this is how we are going to run Docker. So I hope you understand like the installation setup of your system using in a Docker. So once you set up and configure your Docker, you just pull the image from the Docker hub and you just start. And you say that Docker and the image start, it will start the image. That means it is going to create a container reference for your image, and that image is going to run your, the image snapshot behind the applications and configure your system. Okay, I hope you understand the concept of Docker, and still it is in starting stage. So this is how we are going to install the Docker and use further on this particular images. So basically this is an open source, everybody can install and use it, but especially it was fine for Unix platforms. But if you want to install on Windows, we should require virtual machine on top of we will get this installed Docker, then only it works. And because it's a very prominent tool nowadays everyone is using to avoid multiple problems when deploying the application on different servers and different environments, basically multi-platform cloud. So it's a tool designed to make it easier to create and deploy and run applications by using containers. That's what the main reason of the highlight of these containers. This is very uh, relative alternative approach for the virtual machines and reduces and host operating systems. So I hope you understand the Docker, and we'll see the next step, like how to push a Docker image into Docker Hub and how to pull the Docker image from the Docker Hub and run the Docker image using a container in the next sessions. Thank you. Thanks for listening to this video. Please subscribe this YouTube channel for more videos on Docker. Thank you.